Oh, you're dirty for that.
What?
You unscrewed the deal.
Yeah, and it just screeched. We're going to have to cut this. She'll appreciate that.
And God said, "If you'll answer my call, I'll answer with my power." Welcome to the Generation on Fire podcast.
Welcome back to another episode of Generation on Fire. We come to you today with a lot of technical difficulties.
A lot.
We just spent an hour and a half trying to get this whole thing set up. So yeah, if you would, like, subscribe, comment. We really need your help. Do you have a title?
Yeah. Live the life assigned to you.
All right. Tristan has a title, Live the Life Assigned to You. Yeah, you probably should be taking lead on this one.
Okay. All right. So, this week, we're going to go take a passage out of 1 Corinthians 7. The passage is titled, Live as You Are Called, or Live the Life Assigned to You. And really, we're just going to read it and, give our thoughts about it and talk about it.
Cool.
I think, we'll get into everything in it, but I think it's a very important passage that gets skipped over sometimes. So I guess we'll read it and then get to go.
All right. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 17. What?
This. Your camera just bugged.
Oh. But as God has distributed to every man, as the Lord has called every one, so let him walk. And so ordain I in all churches. Is any man called being circumcised? Let him not become uncircumcised. Is any called in uncircumcision? Let him not be circumcised. Circumcision is nothing, and uncircumcision is nothing, but the keeping of the commandments of God. Let every man abide in the same calling wherein he is called. Are you called being a servant? Care not for it. But if you may be made free, use it rather. For he who is called in the Lord, being a servant, is the Lord's freeman. Likewise, also he who is called, being free, is Christ's servant. You are bought with a price. Be not ye the servants of men. Brethren, let every man wherein he is called, therein abide with God. And that's verse 17 through 24. And you're going to break down the first couple verses.
Yeah. So, whenever we're reading this, one, I wanted to look at called versus assigned. You read throughout the Bible, there's only a few things that believers are truly called for. And one thing is actually in this passage. He says, "Were you a bondservant when called?" So the only thing that we're really called to do is to be a servant to God. Be a servant to Christ. Be a follower of Christ. Assigned is different. Assigned is a job or something that Jesus wants us to do, God wants us to do.
More of a task.
A task. The way I view it is we're getting orders. We're getting commands. Hey, I need you to do this, and it's up to us to do it. A lot of times we don't. But called, because there's a whole movement on what are you called to do? What are you, we're really only called to do a few things, and that's to be a follower of Christ.
And everybody is like, ooh, I'm called to this, I'm called to that. Or like if you're meeting other Christians and you're go anything deeper than like, oh, we love Jesus, the very first thing they ask you is, what's your calling?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think it's just another way to say task or assignment for most people, I would say. Or for some people. But I would say...
I don't think I'd agree with that.
I think some people are saying it as, hey, I feel like God has assigned me to do this or asked me to do this. But there are some people that are like what you think. Like the called. I don't know. What do you think?
Anytime you say called or calling, I immediately think somewhere along the lines of the fivefold ministry.
I mean, yeah.
Whereas if it was a task, like let's say you're
I see what you're
tasked
saying.
with planning a church, you get the church established, you find a preacher, you're on to the next one. Which would in a way just mean you're called to be an evangelist.
Yeah, I don't know. The way I view it is the called being, because what I'm getting at is there's this whole movement of being called. This is my calling. This is I'm called to be a wife. I'm called to be all these things, or I'm called to be whatever. Those things, I think they're getting to a point where it's almost like I have this title over my head instead of me surrendering myself and being like, hey, God's telling you to go do this.
It's more of instead of lifting Jesus up, it's lifting me up.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't call me Lane, call me Pastor Lane.
Yeah.
It's like somebody's doctorate.
Yeah.
Once they get that doctor in front of their name, they're no longer like they're not John so and so. They're Dr. John so and so.
Or you got them crazy paramedics that are like, I'm
I'm
Sebastian Hoffman.
I'm don't you dare call me an ambulance driver. I'm an EMT. Like, sure, dude. Sure. High speed operator you are.
Not even that high speed. But anyway, what I'm getting at is I feel like a lot of times we use that calling, or I'm called to do this, to puff ourselves up, instead of treating it as a literal assignment. Like, God asked me to do this, or God came to me in a vision. God spoke to me in literal words. God did this. And again, I think some people are using the word calling instead of saying assignment, like God has assigned me to do this.
Yeah, I think we're using the word too loosely.
Yeah. So, again, I'm not coming at everyone that says called, but I
about
do,
half of them.
I do urge you to not view it as a title and view it as an assignment. God has asked you to do something, and like a general in the army, a commander in the army that has asked you to do a task, he expects it to be done.
Mm-hmm.
So, in saying that, I just think we need to view our calling or assignments as such, as assignments. Hey, God has assigned me to be a youth pastor over a specific group of people, a specific group or whatever, age, whatever you want to say. And I want to fulfill that assignment to the best of my ability.
Mm-hmm. With all the talents that he's given you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with that. I just feel like most people who are not called to anything, like, for whatever reason, we've got it in our heads that the prayer warrior is not a calling. So, like, people don't just like, well, I'm a prayer warrior, and we're like, oh, they're there.
No, we need those. We need more of those.
Exactly. So, like, I feel like we've lifted some things up to where if you are called to those.
That's what I'm saying. It's like we've put on a jacket, like, oh, I'm this.
Yeah.
It's like a letterman's jacket in high school. Like,
I wouldn't know.
Sorry. But everyone else would know. A letterman's jacket, you would have a patch of, like, I'm all conference in this, or I'm all state in this, or I'm all state in trap. I'm your FFA.
I bet say my FFA jacket.
Your FFA
okay,
coat.
I got it.
So, like, pretty much the same thing. So, like, you're putting on, oh, I'm this, when in reality, I'm just a servant to God, and I just want to do whatever he asks me to do.
We've built up the position when in reality, if you look at the position, it's just listen to God, follow at his feet, and ask him what he wants of you.
Exactly. It's an assignment. And the calling and the assignment of God is without repentance. Absolutely. But that looks differently, and some people view it in a way of saying, well, I'm called to this, and it'll only be this forever.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel as I'm assigned to do certain things, and then after I fulfill those, God assigns me to do other things. And it could be in that same general,
Yeah,
topic.
The only thing I would not really say disagree, it's just like the only thing that gives me pause about that is pastors.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone else, absolutely. But if God has called you to be a pastor of a church,
yeah,
you should probably be there for several years.
yeah. Well, that's why I'm saying there are certain things that
And I know that's what you mean, but like
there are certain things that I just think there's some people. How do I put this? We might have to cut this. Kenzie, we might have to cut this. I just think there's some people that will say, I'm called to.
come on, drop examples, drop names.
I'm not going to drop names, but say that they'll say, I'm called to be a preacher's wife, or I'm called to be a pastor's wife, or I'm called to be all these other things. I'm called to be the one that brushes the toilet seat. I don't know if we're just staying there because we're not comfortable with anything else. Because I think God is going to use everyone for everything.
Mm-hmm. But most people don't look at it as a task that can be completed.
Yeah.
Is that what you're trying to get at? Most people look at it as like, well, I'm here now, so I'll be here forever.
Yeah. I just think we need to live the life that we're called to live, that we're assigned to live. And what he's saying in verse 1 is, and this is what ESV says, it says, only let each person lead the life that
The wrong translation.
that the Lord has assigned to him. Where he's assigned us to do certain tasks, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I just think we use the word called loosely.
Yeah, I would 100% agree with that. Whereas if you're like, all right, God has called me to this task, there's an end in sight. Or if it's if we say we have a calling, well, then your task is never completed. So like, if God has called you to mop the floors, what do you do when you reach the end of the room?
Yeah.
You just start mopping the other end again.
Which, I mean, again, I guess pretenses would be your fivefold ministry, because if you're called to those things, they don't end.
Yeah.
Typically.
I guess I'm missing it. What example? You got an example?
I did, and now I went blank because I didn't write it down.
Am I proving you wrong on this podcast?
No.
Is this what's happening right now?
No, because I do not like where being called is, again, like you said, it's for certain people it is a full 100% of the time.
Yeah.
You're called to do this one thing.
But there's also so many other positions in the fivefold ministry.
Yes. And people saying, I'm called to be your husband or be your wife or be like those things. Like, I just think I would just rather us say assigned. I'm assigned to do this. Because what that does for me anyway, and it could just be a me thing, and it probably is, but for me anyway, if I view it as not a calling but an assignment, I have a more urgency about it.
There's actually, I think I understand what you're saying. If it's an assignment, there's a deadline.
Yeah.
And we're working under a deadline.
Yeah.
Either till Jesus comes back or we die.
Yeah.
And we don't know either one of those times.
Exactly.
So if we're on an assignment and we're like, well, deadline's approaching, I gotta get it. Okay, yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that.
Long story short, I just think we need to be viewing our assignments, our quote unquote callings, as just that, as an assignment from God. It is your task to do, and if you don't do it, someone else will do it because he'll pass it on.
Yeah,
but
isn't there a verse where it says he will? I think it might be just where it's like, if you don't worship, the rocks will cry out. I think that's where people get it. I thought there was another verse, but yeah.
There probably is.
But yeah, if
it's not coming to me right now.
If you're not allowing God to work and move in your life, his work's not going to be hindered just because you decide to be stubborn.
Yeah.
Even though he's already factored in the fact that you're a stubborn old mule.
Yeah, because a lot of times like I said before, the calling makes us like, I'm this, when in reality, I'm a servant just trying to do whatever God wants me to do.
I'm a servant trying to achieve my master's plan.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
We took the long road to
that.
that.
So we just took like 20 minutes to explain the difference between an assignment and being called.
Yeah. But again, yeah, I just think we already said it.
All right, explain what 18 and 19.
18 and 19.
Those are the only two I have like questions about.
Okay. Has anyone at the time of his call already circumcised? So, what I'm taking this as, and I believe that's how Paul's meaning it, here is, has anyone that's been saved already doing everything that he should be doing as a Christian? Are they already sanctified? Because in the Old Testament, circumcision was like, that was the step or whatever.
It was like the first step.
Yeah.
It was the first thing that separated you from the world.
Exactly. So what he's saying is, has anyone at his call, a Gentile, already been circumcised? No. And then he says, let him not seek to remove the marks of has anyone at his time of his call already circumcised? Yeah, so if they're already circumcised, let him not seek to remove the marks. Was anyone at the time of his call uncircumcised? Let him not seek circumcision. So
basically, he's throwing out the whole "you must be circumcised to be saved."
He's
law.
just throwing that completely out.
Okay. I wasn't sure if there's a metaphor there that I was missing. Like
No.
if it was your heart, when it says
circumcision made without hands. Yeah. No. This one's literal.
He's being quite literal. Okay.
He's just saying, hey, you don't have to seek after those things. And then he goes on to say, neither circumcision counts for anything nor uncircumcision. So
because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if we follow the law. It just matters if our faith and hope is in Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay. I got it.
And that's all he's saying there. But again, how we can take it and put it in our own lives is, if someone is not saved and they're coming into, now they're a believer, have they let these things fall off? Or
we can't throw the rule book at them and be like,
exactly,
well, you didn't do this, so you're not saved.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because then he goes on to say, were you a bondservant when called? Were you already Christian? Were you already after me before you were called? No, you weren't after Jesus before you were called. Before you were called to be a bondservant. So, another thing that I wanted to point this out, and what we just read, it's allow and help others grow in Christ and don't tear them down. Just because they've just come into the kingdom doesn't mean they're like freshmen at a high school where they're fresh meat. Oh, we got to pick on them. No.
Yeah.
We need to build them up.
Okay. Yeah. I was going to head a different way with that, but yeah.
You can head a different way with that, but that's one thing.
You're in verse 21, right? Are you called being a servant? Care not for it, but if you may be made free, use it rather.
Yeah.
Read in verse 20. Where it literally says, let every man abide in the same calling wherein he was called.
No, that's really kind of like what I was going with was 18 through 20. It's that whole part of like let it not be
the new converts. Don't worry, or don't let throw the law at them.
Yeah.
The only thing that I have to add to that is just there's so much mess in our eyes when we get saved.
Oh yeah. I'm not saying you just let them die.
No. Like,
You need to pick them up and say, hey, this is how this goes.
All right. Actually, this might be a controversial opinion. New converts do not need to be anywhere near the pulpit, not even to share their testimony.
That's fair.
Okay. I wasn't sure. Those might be fighting words.
No.
Because...
That's fair. Because what happens whenever they're
empowered,
newly converted
yeah,
and they share their testimony and they're not really converted? Then you've just given them a stage to be a hypocrite.
Mm-hmm. And, okay, yep. Because, like, it was 2 years ago, I think, and it was the OnlyFans girl who said she was going to become Christian. Like, within 2 months, she was in a turning point stage.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't...
Yeah. Which I think
and she was already selling courses on how to be, like, more trad wife or whatever.
Yeah, I wouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
Not at all. But I would say that's... I don't know. I'm not going to hold that against... I'm not going to say that turning point is the highest moral code.
Oh, yeah. That's also fair. That's fair. Okay. Yeah. But I just think we as Christians, yes, we need to welcome new converts with open arms. And they're not so much that there needs to be rules, but there just needs to be, listen, you need to sit back and you need to learn, and we will help you with anything you have that you have questions about. But some things are sacred enough, we take it very, very seriously.
Yeah.
Do not act out in these ways.
And that's a lot of the reason why, I mean, we do certain things at our church.
Yeah. And I also think that's kind of one of the ways Paul was turning it on its head, because, like, if you would have these Gentiles get saved, the first thing they'd want to do is, like, well, let me get circumcised because this is a Jewish religion.
Yep.
And it's like, no, this is something totally different. This is a fulfillment.
They have to understand. You have to understand before you can truly...
Whereas, like, could you imagine being a Gentile back then and, like, there's this Jewish guy preaching kind of, sort of Jewish, like, religion and tradition to you, and he's like, and so you immediately, like, well, what do they do different than the rest of us? Oh, they get circumcised.
You're 40 and you're like...
Abraham did it with a sharp rock.
I know, with a flint.
Yeah. And I think that's just one of the ways Paul was kind of just being like, the very first things you do as soon as you get saved don't really merit you a whole lot, because it's, from that day forward, you're an example to Christ, and every day you need to be that same example.
Yeah.
Whereas doesn't need to be extravagant works where it's like, look at me, I got saved. Whereas if, I don't know, God might call somebody to do things like that.
Well, I mean, we can say that, but there has to be an asterisk.
Yeah.
Look at Paul.
Yeah, immediately went from blinding light
and
to...
then preaching to the same people he was going to kill.
But then again...
There
also,
are asterisks.
Yeah. There's so many caveats.
There is.
And it's not so much a caveat in the way of, well, it's this, but it's pretty much this, period, and then this. Because, like, those same people he's preaching to, they're like, this dude's trying to kill us.
Yeah, exactly.
And then God's like, all right, Paul, we need to take a hiatus so I can teach you a few things.
Yeah.
So, in a way, that's also my same point is, like, new converts don't need to be let near the pulpit. And that's kind of what I feel like these verses are talking about.
I mean, you could probably take that out of that. You can. I would just go back to... And, I mean, he does say that because he says, let him lead the life that is assigned to him and to which God has called him. Mm-hmm. And then he says, this is my rule in all the churches. Just...
I like how it was like,
be careful.
This letter's going to you, Corinth, but this means for everyone. This is not just for you.
Yeah. Which, I mean, there's certain, Colossians, it was written to one church, and then he told them, okay, now take it 10 miles down the road and give it to the other church.
Yeah.
So.
That's also true.
But again, this is...
It's like the fifth or sixth.
I know. We need to, one, allow and help others grow. We can't
hinder others just to
can't
make
kick 'em-
ourselves look better.
Yeah, we can't kick them all the way down. What my point is to that is we have so many people in the church that, oh, well, they've got a school tattoo.
Yeah.
They're going to hell. We can't have it.
Oh my gosh, they did this right after they got saved.
They're smoking the marijuana.
I hope that came over. I hope that pronunciation came over so well in this microphone.
It's
Gonna get clipped.
They've done it, and they've been saved, but I just can't believe they're still struggling with that.
Yeah.
They're still struggling with porn? Are you kidding me? They're still struggling with alcohol? Are you kidding me? Give God time to work, y'all, okay? Like, pump the brakes. We're throwing rocks when we shouldn't be, is what I'm saying. And instead of throwing rocks, I don't know, maybe just help them and point them to Christ.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do that as Christians. I don't know. Maybe that's a good idea. It might be in the Bible somewhere, you know.
Or, several somewheres.
Or all over it. But it's frustrating to me to have
Galatians 4? No.
probably.
Restore your brother.
Yeah, restore
if he's
your brother
found in a
if he's
fault.
fallen. Yep.
I think it's in Galatians.
It's just frustrating. You have people supposed to be seasoned Christians that are completely like, oh,
Yeah.
you're doing this?
Another thing, too.
Like you're going to hell. I can't believe it. It's just frustrating.
Why is it always the most seasoned ones, too? It's always the gray heads that's been living for Christ, or say they've been living for Christ for 50 years. Is it because they look down on the younger generations and are like, well, I wouldn't have done this? Or is it more of just like, they should know better and they forget how far they've come?
I think that's more of it. It's they should know better and they forget. Because it's not just gray heads. Because I've seen people that are like 30 and go,
That's
like,
true.
bagging somebody, and I'm going, do you not remember where you were like 10 years ago?
Do you remember how big of a knucklehead you was?
Well, I mean, I find it in myself sometimes. Even like in myself, I'm looking at somebody and going, come on. And then I'm going, I was the same way. Like I was that dingbat that didn't know anything.
Yeah.
And now I can look back and go, okay, I've come a long way.
I guess I'm not old enough. I don't really have enough experience for it to be like that. But I could definitely see how that would.
Yeah.
Just because we get so wrapped up in.
Well, we do. And we think that we know best. And then we're going, hey, little Johnny over here has been smoking weed for 6 years. And now that he's saved and still smoking weed a little bit, but struggling with it. Not that he's like openly like, I'm doing this and I'm saved. Like, I want to push this.
Yeah.
Like, this is what we should be doing. But he's struggling with it. And then we're like, well, Johnny, you're not even saved. What do you mean?
Yeah.
No, I think that's wrong also.
Yeah.
I mean, what, Brother Larson, not 6 months?
Some of his stuff lasted forever.
So, like, a lot of that, it gradually fell off.
I think, quote unquote, hard drugs was like immediate.
Yeah.
I think the porn and alcohol was like 6 months to a year.
Yeah. Exactly.
But
I just think a lot of times what my point is, we need to allow Christians that are new Christian, allow them to have their work of grace. And that's not just with, not even new Christians sometimes, because sometimes we have older Christians that are struggling with something.
having knucklehead moments.
And instead of kicking them to the curb or, just completely excommunicating, we don't do that no more. But sometimes we should. Paul even says we should in some things.
Yes.
But
I agree. However, it also doesn't need to be its own thing where it's like, oh, well, this person's struggling in this area, so we're going to push them to the backside of the church and nobody look too hard.
No, that's what I'm saying.
It needs to be like...
It needs to be a help, a guidance, not a shoot them down. Not any of that. It is straight up. We need to guide them. We need to help them. That's what pastors. That's what laymen. That's what youth pastors. That's what all of us are supposed to be doing.
That's just what groups are supposed to do.
Yes, we're supposed to help each other.
There's a passage somewhere. My phone's recording, so I can't look it up. And I'm sorry, guys. I don't have the whole Bible memorized quite yet. But it's like take a group of 2 or 3 and confront them about it. Mm-hmm. And it's where Paul's talking, and probably to Corinthians too. Honestly, like
it's very possible because
it was like take a group, confront your brother, uplift him, but tell him don't do it again.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also, I believe, I'm not so sure if it's just an American church thing, probably not, but it's definitely prevalent. It's like, all right, guys, you're now saved. You're in a church, but you're pretty much doing this all on your own. Because we don't need to. The big guy, you're the big bad guy, and you're supposed to follow Jesus, and just, be better.
Yeah. That's
we just rabbit tracked for like 15 minutes.
Be like that. The one question I have before we do that is, what good do fleshly rituals or ordinances do for us?
I can't say none.
Fleshly?
Okay.
That's why I said fleshly.
All right. Well, then none. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
But in a way, having a group show up at a certain time is kind of a ritual. You know what I mean? We're going to show up this...
No, I wouldn't say that. But, sure.
Well, okay. No, okay, let me not use ritual. Let me use ordinance.
I mean, yeah, but you still have to have a time. Because it's not like... I mean, we don't have it in the Bible, but... I don't know, we might, because Jesus had told them, hey, I'm going to go here for a time, and I need you to be here praying with me, and they go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, my answer's firmly none, just because fleshly anything has never gained man anything.
No.
Like, if you could do it by yourself, you wouldn't need Jesus.
And again, this is why Paul's like, hey, don't cut on yourself. Or if you've already cut on yourself, don't try to cover it up. Like, you've done what you've done. Now you're something new. You're something different.
Don't go show it off. Be like...
Point is, Paul is saying, hey, don't try to make yourself holy by cutting on yourself. Like, that's not how this works. So just, hey, nothing that you can do in your own flesh is going to gain you anything. And Paul later teaches that.
You also got to put yourself in the text, too. And remember that Christianity was such a weird religion.
Brand new.
Well, it was brand new, but it was such a weird religion because it didn't require blood sacrifices. It wasn't viewed as a legitimate religion because there was no bloodshed involved.
There was. A man named Jesus.
Okay, yeah, but like...
hung on a tree.
It wasn't like, all right, we got to kill a certain amount of animals every month. It was, we looked to a sacrifice that had already come.
Yeah. No, yeah, you're right.
So to go from, your pagan religion where, I have
to slaughter my children for this God to be happy.
And to water my crops.
That's wild. Looking at those religions as a Christian is like, what are y'all doing? Like,
alien. It's just alien. Like, it's so weird and odd. We can't conceptualize it.
No.
Especially, 2,000 years later when Christianity has pretty much evangelized the whole world.
Yeah.
Where even, like, the crazy religions have kind of toned it down just so they can present Christians with a watered-down version to slowly drag them in.
Yeah. Muslims. Anyway.
That's what I was getting at.
Anyway. So, in this passage, I believe, we're talking about doing what you're told to do, doing what you're assigned to do. So it just made me think of the parable of talents.
Yeah.
Of, hey, you've got one talent. Go take it do whatever you will with it. And then the next guy, you've got 5. And the next guy, you've got 10. Now, I'm going to come back after a certain amount of time, and you're going to show me what you've invested in this, whatever you've taken. And I guess without, doing a deep dive on the whole parable of the talents, you have one that takes his talent, which is like, I forget how much money that was, but it was like a lot.
It was like months.
Over a year's worth.
Was it a year's salary?
I think it was over a year's worth. And buried it in the ground. So he buried that money in the ground.
Hold up, you're getting ahead. The parable is about 3 men and a master.
Yeah.
The master hands one man 1 talent. Hands another one 2 talents. Is it 1, 2, and 5?
Yep.
He hands the second man 2 talents. He hands the third man 5 talents. And he tells him, go out, invest this money, make me more money, pretty much. And then after a certain amount of time, he comes back to the 3 men. He works his way back from the greatest to the least. He says, all right, the man with 5, how much did you make? And it's like
10.
It's 10. He doubled it. He goes to the man with 2, and he says, how much did you make? Was it 5? Anyway, he has a good increase, and he brings it to the master, and he gets to the man he gave 1. And the man with 1 says, look, master, I preserved this talent. I did absolutely nothing with it. I went and buried it in the ground, and I give it back to you. And the master pretty much says to him, why did you not invest it? Why?
Yeah.
Why I didn't. If I wanted to have my talent, I would have just kept it.
Yeah.
And then the guy trying to weasel his way out of it says, well, you're a deceitful man. You earned this money wrongly. You deserve what you got.
Yeah. And he didn't invest the money, didn't give it to anybody, held it, and then the master took his talent and gave it to the one with 10 because he was a fruitful sower. He stewarded what he had well. So to tie it back to what we're talking about, live as you're called. You take what you're given.
You take what you have.
And
whether it be
the best that you can do with
1, 2, or 5, you take it, you do what God's called you to do with it, and you multiply it.
Yep.
You don't get concerned with, oh, well, he has 10, so God loves him more than me. Oh, well, he has 1, so I'm better than him. No.
But you have that, you have a lot of pastors that run into this sometimes because they're looking at bigger pastors that have more of a following, and they're
like, well,
God, what am I doing?
My church has 200 people.
Yeah.
My church has 10 people.
Yeah. So you run into that sometimes as pastors. And of course you run into it. I'm saying even pastors run into this, not just laymen.
Well, it's the easiest example because it's the most common. Like
Pam said, whenever he was doing a teaching on this, but Pam was like, "Hey,
who's Pam?"
Philip Anthony Mitchell. Every time.
Oh.
Every time.
What woman are you listening to?
No, Pam. He was talking about this parable, and he was saying, there's some 1 talent pastors out there that are sowing souls into the kingdom. But there's also 1 talent that are looking to the next talent or the next level of preacher, whatever you want to say, and saying, well, God, why don't I have that? Instead of sowing into the kingdom with what he has. And that's where we need to back up and say, well, I need to live my life as I am assigned to do.
Yeah.
My assignment is what I need to do. And I just thought it was a good thing to hear that from Pastor Philip because so many people try to tear him down. And it was just a good thing to hear him say because he was like, there's some people that are here, there's some people, and he put himself in the 2 talent.
Yeah, he this the middle.
And then there was someone like Billy Graham or even Brother Swaggart that had so much and gave so much back to the kingdom. And now we just have to take that and say, hey, I'm assigned with this job, with this assignment, and I need to take it and make it fruitful,
Mhm.
not bury it in the ground.
Yeah. So many people, they'll, honestly, to add on to the parable, instead of burying it in the ground, which I guess in a way this is how they do it, not so much just like burying it in the ground, they'll go and try and invest it for themselves. Oh, well, God gave me a great voice. I can go on The Voice and sing Christian songs and get kicked out at around, 5 or whatever. Or I can sing secular songs. I can win it and get a contract.
Yeah.
But in the meanwhile, I've sold my talent for myself. And
Yeah, there's definitely those that have done that.
yeah.
And there's some music artists that have taken the Christian route because it was the easier route to get into to make a name for yourself, because at one point you didn't have to be that good of a singer.
Ann Wilson.
Yeah.
I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
We're keeping that.
That good of a singer to get into the Christian fold, and then you could work your way out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And now to get into the Christian fold, you've got to be pretty good. Like you got to be on up there. So, which I just like that, because Christian music is actually decent now instead of being like
It's all right.
CCM. I don't like CCM. I'm not a big fan of CCM.
What's CCM?
Christian contemporary music.
Oh.
That's like, listen, Chris Tomlin has some good songs.
Yeah.
I said some.
It was like a 1-to-20 ratio, okay? Like, if it's that low, I don't really count it. But, like, listen to K-Love.
That's what I'm saying. K-Love is not it for me. Not it. So CCM is pretty much all that K-Love plays.
Yeah. Well, that goes back to the whole point of we're not going to step on any toes or bring anybody to repentance, because we're not going to invest these talents we have at our disposal because, well, it might cost us something instead of gaining the master everything.
Yeah.
We're going to be lukewarm that way. We invite the hot, we invite the cold, and we kind of mix it. But when the master comes back, you're like, this is disgusting.
Yeah. Which I will say.
Yeah.
I will say there are some in that CCM,
like I said,
that are good.
1-to-20 ratio.
Well, I don't mean the songs. I mean the people.
Like I said, 1-to-20 ratio.
I hope it's higher than that, but there are definitely those that are just taking it and saying, okay, well, how can I make this profit me?
Yeah.
And we don't need to do that. We need to be, how can I make this profit the kingdom? And sometimes God makes that to where you can profit yourself. God can build you up to reach the masses. That happens also.
Honestly, I would... Okay. Not necessarily. I wouldn't necessarily say everybody starts out at 1, but we're definitely... You gain a lot more throughout the lifetime that you live.
If you're obedient.
Talents, yes.
And if you steward what you have well.
Because, like...
I mean, just like...
You know me. There's
like
not a musical bone in my body.
Not one.
I like to listen to it, and I can critique it, but I...
Not one musical bone at all.
Nope. I can't play it.
This man, I haven't seen him clap in like a year and a half.
I can tap the back of the pew like with the best of them, and still be wrong.
Definitely not on beat.
I didn't say it was on beat, so I could tap the back of it. But that's just never a talent I'll have. I could start today learning to play the piano, and I still would not be good at it in 10 years.
Yeah. There's things that God gives us, and that could be leadership qualities, that could be singing, that could be playing an instrument, that could be literally so much.
Literally anything.
Literally anything that God can give you.
God
to do.
could more than likely anoint you to play sports for Him too.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
wholeheartedly believe that.
I think most people just.
I was just dumb.
I would say most people just they lose it. They cave. They don't. Mm-hmm. They end up investing it for themselves.
You have to stand firm, because the talent. If you have a talent, musically, sports, leadership, just speaking, because speaking is like very hard to do if you think.
Oh gosh!
Speaking in front of people, that is a talent. If you're good at it,
Even
bravo.
speaking behind a camera,
Good job. I think speaking behind a camera is harder than speaking in front of people, in my opinion.
I would have to agree with you.
But anyway, if you have any of those talents, the world has things for you to do with those talents also.
Oh, you want to be a motivational speaker instead of a preacher?
Exactly.
You'll make so much more money.
So use those things for God and watch what happens in your life, but also watch the amount of people that you get to sow into the kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the most important thing we can do as Christians, is win another soul for Jesus. Like the servants, the most important thing that they could have done for their master is win him another talent.
Mm-hmm.
Earn him another talent, which we don't earn anything from God, but you take that and you pour it into another spirit, another soul, and let them encounter Jesus just like you did.
It's what's the guy's name in Before We Kill and Eat You?
I forgot.
Anyway, there was a missionary in the 1920s, or was it 50s? Anyway,
I just went blank on that one.
Early to mid 20th century, there was this man. He was, well, at the time of this story, he was a boy. He contracted a fever. Back then, he was either going to live or he was going to die. No such thing as penicillin, I don't think. Not for poor people, anyway. He actually said he was dead. Like, his family couldn't feel a pulse, and they said he started getting cold. But he's in a dream, and he starts walking towards you. He describes it as a very bright light and a beautiful, welcoming presence. And he says, "You can't come to me now, for you don't have any," I think it was sheaves to lay at my feet. It was like a bundle of wheat.
Yeah.
Like, in that moment, he could have just been like, or he could have walked back, gotten into his body, and been like, well, that was a wild dream. That's all it was.
Yeah.
But he knew that that was God saying, I've given you a calling. I have a purpose for your life. And he turned around and he went to Africa and preached the gospel to thousands upon probably tens or hundreds of thousands of people that had never heard the gospel before.
Yeah.
Not to mention inspired the next generation of
missionaries.
Missionaries. So through that, maybe hundreds of thousands, maybe millions.
Oh yeah, definitely now.
Yeah.
The amount of people. Yeah, no. You never know what living the life that God has assigned to you will actually turn out to be.
Well, it's like what I said with the Josiah podcast. Nobody's going to care more about your calling than you are. Nobody's going to go the lengths that you are.
Yep. And that's why God assigned and called you for it, not for someone else. And
it's a calling because he's calling you.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's, again, going back to what we talked about at the beginning. We need to view it as an assignment, not a phone call.
Yeah.
It's an assignment. It is something that we have to do. It is a command. Hey, it's time.
There's a deadline
to do this. Yep.
There's no time to dilly-dally.
No, there's not, because believe it or not, Jesus is coming back. And it could be tonight. It could be tomorrow.
Hey, we're closer now than we've ever been.
Exactly. So, you never know. And that's not a road. Well, hell's hot, and it's been hot enough here in Arkansas. I don't want to go to hell.
I don't even care if hell's dry heat. You got all the people. It's not that bad. It's 100 degrees outside.
I'm not saying that. He said that, not me.
Let me finish.
No.
You got all these people. It's like, it's 100 degrees outside, but it's dry heat, so it's fine. It doesn't matter.
No.
It's too hot.
No. No. Too
Still
hot.
Better being cold, though.
No, I'd rather be cold and bundle up. Anyway. Let's get on to. So, what is a bondservant? What do you believe?
Yes, me?
Yeah, what's a bondservant?
You want the Lane definition, or you want like the actual Bible definition?
What's the Lane definition? Because then we can correct it with the Bible definition.
Oh my gosh! If that wasn't so creative, I would just find words. The Lane definition is, So the whole point of a bond, I'm going to give somebody money. There's going to be a slight increase at a time or duration. So you can buy government bonds. Here's the government, $10. It's a 5% bond. When I get my money back, it's my money plus 5%. Okay, simple enough. If you're a bond servant, you're a servant for a certain period of time, and then there needs to be an increase to your master's holdings, and then you are free man to go.
Yeah.
You want the Bible definition now?
Yeah, now give me the Bible definition.
All right. In the Old Testament, a bond servant it was Kingdom Age, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When you have Israel, a bond servant would be somebody who is either owes a debt they cannot repay. Mm-hmm. That was actually the most main reason, wasn't it?
That was the biggest reason.
So we'll just go with that one. Somebody who owed a debt they could not pay. Somebody pays the debt for that person. So now they are under a contract to pay the person back what they owe. And after a certain period of time...
7 years.
7 years. Which honestly, it would suck if you had a small debt, but whatever. Your master's getting a good deal on that one. After 7 years, your contract came back up and you could be a servant for him forever, or you could go be a free man and living to your own devices.
Yep.
However, the increase that you felt under your master, that was his.
Yep. And so if you had a family and had kids, they were his.
They was the master's servants, the master's children. So like if you got married and, like you said, had children, once you become a free man, it's not yours. You had to leave them. Yep. So we are bond servants to Christ.
Yep.
So that's
but
in here, is it?
The biggest reason on why they would stay is because the master was so good to them that they would stay, and they would rather be under him than be a free man because he was so good to them. And that's just a picture of God. We are free. We are free moral agents.
We can leave at any time. Our contract can be up this very second if you decide.
But since he's so good to me,
why would I want to leave?
I'm not going nowhere.
He's given me the increase every single time.
And in the Old Testament, they would mark you. They would put your ear to the door frame and drive a nail through it. And that would be a mark as to, I've paid my debt, but my master's so good. Mm-hmm. So I'm staying with him. And
another thing is, it was a distinctive, but let's say somebody wanted to beat you up. They would know that they're not beating you up.
That's the master's.
You're beating up the master, and the master's going to come back for what's his.
Yeah.
So it's also a protection, in a way.
Yeah, it was. I just being a bondservant, one here, he's talking about, were you already a bondservant whenever you were saved or called? No, you weren't already a bondservant.
No.
Because you had a debt to pay, and then Jesus paid it. And now you can be. But if you gained your freedom, avail yourself for the opportunity. So if you've gained your freedom, say, hey, might want to be a bondservant for Jesus. my debt's been paid. I'm gonna stay here.
Yeah.
Then for he who is called in the Lord as a bondservant is a free man of the Lord. You're free. You don't have to. You're not bound by anything. Although you should do the things that God commands us to do. You should abide by.
Well, it just goes back to your master as being so good to you. Why would you want to embarrass him?
You want to obey him.
Yeah.
You want to be good to him.
Because that nail, we was going back, that nail's a marker.
Yep.
They know if you act a fool,
yep,
your master's not
that's
a serious man.
I know who you are.
Yeah.
Whose you are.
It's literally like if your kids acted up. And well, Tristan ain't been teaching his children right and wrong.
That's not my kids.
I don't know. You see them run around in front of church sometimes?
I'm just glad they're in church. And they want to go up to the prayer line and pray for people.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people want to do that. Not a lot of kids want to do that. But
I couldn't let you just ride that high. I had to knock you down.
No, I'm just saying my kids ain't the one that's going wild all the time. Sometimes yes, not all the time. Okay.
Anyway, finish reading verse 22.
Likewise, he is also he who was free when called is a bondservant of Christ. So, again, just going back and forth to say pretty much the same thing of we need to be we are bondservants of Christ because the master's so
Pause.
good. Go ahead.
I know, like, one thing I've noticed in, like, between verse 18 and 22, Paul is using, there's a word for it. I don't know what it is. I am not a literary student by no means, but he's flipping the things back and forth to leave no excuse.
Yeah, he's going from one aisle to the other.
Yeah.
He's like bouncing. He's like, okay, you think this way? Okay, don't. You think this way? Okay, don't.
Yeah, and they're opposite sides of the coin. That way he can be like, you're both wrong, and I both love you, but you're both wrong.
Yeah.
So, like, whether he's like, you're circumcised? Not great. Uncircumcised? Not great.
Yeah.
So he's drawing contrast between the two just to get your eyes and attention on the thing in the middle.
Yeah.
Which is, he's trying to teach you about Jesus.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Exactly. So, and then verse 23 is what sums it up. And he says, you were bought with a price. Do not become bondservants of men, or don't give in to the things of man. So, brothers, in whatever condition each was called, let him remain there with God. If I'm going to, if I've been circumcised, if I've not been circumcised, those things don't matter. I'm going to remain with God, please the master, and that's all you have to do.
Mm-hmm. And if you do start thinking about becoming a fool, just remember you're bought with a price.
Yep. Yep.
That debt you owed was not cheap.
Yep.
It cost a man his life.
Yep.
It cost the Son of God his life.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, that's where the Christian, or the American church especially, gets it wrong.
Yeah.
We want to act a fool. We want to put smoke machines and turn lights off and have a dance party in sanctuary.
Yeah.
When we forget that we're there to worship the Son of God because he died for us.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, ooh, that could be the other podcast.
It was good, wasn't it?
Well, I'm just thinking American Christianity, no, most.
I would probably just say Christianity at this point.
No, I'm going to say American Christianity because other nations are persecuted for their faith. So
That's
if
also true.
If they believe, they believe.
Mm-hmm.
But American Christianity, we are consumers instead of servants.
Mm-hmm.
Give me the best musician. Give me the best singer.
Yeah.
Give me the one that can make my ears tingle.
Give me the best sound system or I'm going to the next church.
Yeah. Give me all of the best things, and then maybe I'll raise my hand.
Yeah.
Then maybe I'll come to the altar. I'm gonna tease you with it.
Yeah.
Like just because your music was that good.
I'm not fully convinced. My
Yeah.
feet don't feel like getting up.
Yeah. No, that's consumerism.
Yeah.
This is not a concert.
No.
We have come to serve the one and true God, to praise the one and true God because of what he's done for me on the cross of Calvary.
We have quite literally come to an altar to lay our lives on it.
Yeah. And too much of the church, that could be a whole nother one. Too much of the church has treated the altar like a place of shame instead of a place of surrender.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A place of sacrifice where the glory of God comes down.
Yeah.
Because the altar in your itty bitty church is the exact same semblance of the mercy seat.
Yeah. Which, before we get too far on that and actually make another podcast tonight, so in saying all of this, live as you're called. Live as you are assigned to. If you are called to be a pastor to the best of your ability.
Don't also try to be the worship leader unless you're called for that.
Yeah. If you are given an assignment to go be a missionary to the best of your abilities. If you're given an assignment to
Start a Bible
Or-
study in your school.
Exactly. Start a Bible study in your school.
You've only got the
Do it
school
to
year
the
to do
best of
that.
your ability. Exactly.
That's actually the best example we could have thought of.
Yeah. Do everything that you can to fulfill the thing that you feel like God has placed on your heart. Whether it is part of the fivefold ministry or whether it is not. Do everything that you can to make that task come to pass, to fulfill the task that God has given you.
Mm-hmm.
In short, obey God. Let obedience be your fruit of worship. Because worship is not just praising our hand or raising our hands, it's also how we live. That's actually the biggest sign of worship.
Mm-hmm.
Is how we live our day-to-day life. So, again, live as you were called. If you are saved, you are bought with a price, and live accordingly. And be obedient to the Master.
That's good.
Yep.
I don't think I got nothing to add on that.
Yep. I hope the camera worked.
Me too.
And if not, it's just going to be like...
It's just going to be an audio version. We'll see.
Close it out.
Thanks for watching. Come back next time. We're going to try and stick with this one every week. Go follow us on X. Leave a hate comment on YouTube. Have you watched that? Me and Jake on every single one that comes out. This sucks.
Oh, no, I didn't see it.
Anyway, yeah, come back next time. Thanks for watching.
Yep.